Hey guys, today on the show we are going to be talking about a bait that has been taking the finesse world by storm in the last handful of years, the Ned Rig. On this new episode of Co-Anglers. Hey guys, welcome back to the Frugal Muse Studios for this episode of Co-Anglers Corner. I'm Russell Olson. Today on the show, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about one of my actual favorite favorite finesse techniques is the Ned Rig. Before I do that, speaking of Frugal Muse books, I just want to give them a shout out. If you want, good quality used books, videos, at great prices, go see them. Tell them you saw it on Co-Anglers Corner. You'd be surprised how great not only the prices but the quality of the books and videos that you find in there. Do me a favor, check them out. They're on O'Dana Road on the west side of Madison. So getting back to what we're going to be talking about today, like I said, it's a Ned Rig, and she got one rigged up here. So this right here is the Ned Rig. This particular one has I keep losing it here. This particular one has a weed guard on it. They don't all come with that guard. So let me just show you a few things. Starting off, the jig head. It's I use and I'm not sponsored by him. I use the Z-Man Ned Rig jigs. I think that's what they're called. You can when you find them in the store, you'll recognize them for sure. I try to use as light a weight as possible. It's just the way I've had luck. The Ned Rig is meant to be, fish as slow as possible. Sometimes wind conditions makes you go up to, a little bit heavier weight. I forget if this is a 3 or 5 seconds. I mean, we're talking small weights, really small weights, and then you just run the bait, just run it through and bring it down. You'll see, as you can see here, this particular Ned Rig bait. Now, I'm not sponsored by these guys either, but it's my favorite Ned Rig bait. It's the Ned body that is made by Pro Tour Baits. I've just had great success with them. I've just had really great success with them. I mean, it's a simple design. Look at this. This is a simple design, but just absolutely effective. Definitely, this is something that you definitely can use anytime that conditions are tough. I mean, when you've got to get the bait right in front of those fish, and it's just gotta be slow. It's gotta be finessey to get anything to bite. This is one of the go-tos. Is this the only finesse rig I use? Not by any means. But this is definitely one of the main ones that I always have tied on every tournament. Have I had to use it every tournament? I haven't had to use too much finesse this year, to be real. I might be coming to my next tournament, which I'll talk to you all about that in a little bit. But if you need something really finessey, consider a Ned Rig, or at least trying the Ned Rig. Experiment with a Ned Rig. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by them, like I said, but Pro Tour Baits' Ned body is what they call it on their website. This, like I said, it's so simple, but it's just it's got the right action, or maybe lack of action, because you are running this bait just as slow as you can go. I mean, it sometimes you gotta. It's almost like a Senko. Sometimes you're just it's just so painfully slow, but conditions at times require that. And this is definitely a bait that you can do it with. And the fact that this does have a little bit of weight on it will help you keep it near the bottom when you need to, which personally, I've had luck most of the time. Just let it fall and just slowly start to work the bait back. So, and personally, I prefer when the cover is a little sparse, but sometimes, yeah, at least try it with this weed guard on it. And try it with a weed guard on it if you need to run it through cover. But it's just so simple and so effective. That's the only way I can describe it, guys. And the hook's not the biggest either. You can see that. I think this is either 2 or 2.5 inch bait. Right size for a Ned Rig. Just the perfect size. And like I said, perfect shape. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the equipment that you run this on. I've got this on pretty light line. I think this is 8, because I usually run my drop shot on 6. I think this is 8. I would say 6 or 8. You're going to be running light line. Okay. On this, of course, fluorocarbon. Give yourself every advantage you can, especially when the fish are biting that tough. Give yourself every chance. Use some sort of fluorocarbon. Use your favorite brand. Now this particular rod I have it tied on. I believe it is a medium action. Yeah, this particular rod is a 610 medium action. It's a strike back rod by Vexen. Again, I've just had good luck with the rods. I feel like they're quality people, and I've definitely. By the way, be careful of your guides on your ceilings. Yeah. Anyway, I have this on spinning gear. Anything finesse, unless you are just absolutely just ridiculously beyond good. I mean, well beyond elite series level good with a bait caster. You definitely want anything finesse on spinning gear. I just feel like I have the most control. I can shoot it under docks if I need to. It just when you're using really light baits, spinning gear just makes your life a whole lot easier. It's definitely your friend. But yeah, and the reason I'm using it on this particular rod, I would say 6'10", 7 foot. There's a little bit of give there, but I would say definitely use it on medium action. Especially with light line, you definitely want a little bit of give here. If I can effectively show this on camera. You notice there's a little bit of give there. There's definitely a lot of baits I would definitely recommend using on a medium rod. But yeah, getting back to Ned Rig specific here. Yeah, like I said, light line, spinning gear. When you absolutely don't have to have the weed guard, use the weights without it. And like I said, the ones I personally have been using here are the ones made by Z-Man. Like I said, not sponsored, but that's just what I've been personally using. And of course, just like any of your other baits, before you start fishing, sharpen your hooks. Take that time, sharpen your hooks. You don't want to lose a fish, especially in the middle of a tournament. You don't want to lose a fish um, because of hooks not being sharp. Take that time. Sharpening stones are not that expensive. They make battery-powered hook honers. You could try one of them too. I just use a sharpening stone. Like I said, they're cheap enough. You know, it's worth the money. You know, just think about it. So that's what I have on, you know, for the Ned Rig here. So I would definitely say try it out. Yeah, especially I be honest, I use it the most on the Mississippi River because, you know, like I said, when conditions are tough, you know, they you know, it seems to get bites. If you get your limit on that, I would maybe probably swap back and forth between that and, you know, a bigger bait, just to see if you can get some bigger bites. But you can get good fish on this, you know, on this too. It's not like it's not, especially with smallies, you know, it's not like you couldn't catch a 4-pounder or bigger on that. But you know, you're generally those type of finesse bites or finesse baits are to get you bites. Yeah, that's first and foremost with finesse baits, especially when it's tough. So that's all I've got about the Ned Rig. You know, feel free. I don't always get a chance to look at the comments and everything. I've got a lot going on, but you know, feel free to leave a comment before if you like. If you could do me a favor and like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Before I finish up here, I do want to talk about some things that are coming up. My next tournament, next BFL, is on Winneconne on the 15th. I believe that's the Saturday. It's that Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. I always hope for my partner to go to Bago, but whichever direction they decide to go, I've got something in mind. In mind for that. I will have to follow up with you guys on that and let you know how I did, and you know, basically give the good, bad, and the ugly. And then 2 weeks, no, the week after that actually, the Bassmaster Elite Series event in La Crosse. I will be attending that. Watch my socials. You can access them all through the new website, TeamSFO.net. I will be posting probably like a madman that weekend. So yeah, that every time those guys come into town, me and my wife go up there. We attend the show. We make a weekend of it. So yeah, watch my socials throughout that weekend. And of course, I will be talking about that as well with with the next episode of Co-Angler's Corner here. So thank you again, guys. If you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I'd also really appreciate if you could check out some of the links below, including my Patreon. I don't have much up on it yet, or actually anything up on it yet. I got some stuff I'm going to be putting up soon. I swear it's going to happen soon. If considered subscribing just to support me, I'd really appreciate you guys. And again, I want to thank Frogger Books. They've supported me all through the years. They've taken care of me, especially my fishing books and stuff. So with that being said, guys, good luck on the water here. Until next time, go get 'em.